Rise ye ashen tarnished chosen undead, and welcome Souls fans new and old to the next installment of your and my our Dark Souls Remastered Platinum Guide. If you've been following along so far, in the last video we got 5 more of our sorceries. We defeated Sif, sadly. We defeated the Hydra. We got 5 sorceries from Dusk, putting us to 7 out of the 24 required. We then did the Slug Run to get the green Titanites needed to get our Divine Man Serpent Greatsword to +5. If you're following along, you should now be at level 53. This is what your stats should look like. And now we're going to go down a bit of a memory lane path. We're going to go back towards Undecked Berg, because it's the safest way to get to where we're going. You could go the Undead Parish way, but then you're taking your chances with the fire-breathing dragon. As I said, my whole philosophy on this playthrough is to play smart, to play safe, and make this as easy to copy as possible. Hopefully I've achieved that, and if you are following along, one of the things you're noting is just, how easy this is to follow. So I've got my coveted gold ring on for killing this rat. I beg your pardon, sir. Rats have a chance of dropping a humanity. Once that's done, I'm going to equip back Ring of Steel Protection. And we're going to go all the way to the bridge with the dragon, but we're not going to cross that bridge. So remember, this guy throws fire bombs. This guy in here. And the dragon's not going to fly on the bridge this time like it did the first time. So, just remember, shield up, because there is still the crossbow. Follow. Hopefully this should all be vaguely familiar for you. Rest at this bonfire, just in case something happens. You could go up the ladder, however if you go up the ladder you're going to have to try and outrun and survive the dragon. I used to do it that way, and then I found that the dragon occasionally would win the battle of fire versus chosen undead. So this way we get a few cheeky souls along the way. We get a few thousand for everything that we're killing. This guy can sneak up and eventually kill you from behind, so I do like to kill these two. Same strategy as before here. Charge, stick to the left, kill him before he throws a firebomb, and then kill these. In one, because apparently why not? Nice and straightforward. Shouldn't be too stressful. Draw out one of these at a time. So, if you think we did this once, this is the second time. So because he hasn't got a barrel, he's going to run down. We're going to do this run 2 more times in total. Twice on this run, and then once on runs 2 and 3. I was going to go up by default, but we don't need to do that because there isn't a Taurus demon. So those archers we don't have to worry about. Give it a bit of serpentine. Make yourself a harder target to hit, and you won't get hit by the arrows. So now, here we are. So Solaire was that way, Dragon is that way. However, we now have the basement key to come down here. Tap circle, or B if you're on Xbox, And if your keyboard and mouse, I mean, I feel sorry for you. This is one game that I just would never do that on, but everyone to their personal preference. You can also say, no, it's amazing. And how wrong I am, you're more than welcome to. Open this door here, and now we have a shortcut from that bonfire to where we are. Come here, and that's going to trigger... come here, and that is going to trigger the first dog. There we go. Come up the stairs, because you are now up the stairs. That means that you now have the difficult hitbox. Don't worry if you get two, just keep your shield up. Dogs are annoying just because they're sprightly and they jump around. But they're also very easy to beat with shield and poke. 3 of them in total. Then you want to come through here. And...
Somebody.
Please, let me out of here. Somebody, anybody, help me unlock the door. This is why we needed the residence key from the merchant, which we didn't buy, we bopped. But you have to have the residence key to open this door. We're going to roll into here and talk to...
You opened the door. Thank you. I am Griggs of Vinheim.
Griggs of Vinheim.
I am thanks to
Pillager's corpse, not for the sorcerer set, but for the catalyst.
Oh, hello. I'm fine.
Talk to him again, and he'll say he's going to go to Firelink. Excellent, that's what we want. Here, just be careful, there are a bunch of hollows, and they are the torch hollows, because why not? Walk in, turn your back, and lock on when they start to chase. Again, you do not, and you cannot afford to get mobbed or hit with your shield down with these enemies, especially if it is more than one. Come on, just one. Just one. That's the attack that you don't want to get hit with by, well, definitely by more than one, but even one, it is enough to do a chunk of damage. Twin humanities. If you are not comfortable, and it is keeping your shield up and trying to lure one by one, but if you're not comfortable, then just don't worry, it's only a twin humanity. We're now going to go knock on some doors. So, this door. Knock. Nope. So what we're doing here is if you run down, you're going to notice in a minute that this third door is going to open and a black knife enemy is going to come out. That's what these two are. However, we have the chance, because we're approaching from this direction, we can get the jump on them. So look, the doors are open. However, they dead. So 1 instead of 3 is a significantly better fight for you. So the Black Knight Thief enemies, they do have a tendency to parry, because that's what that shield is. It's a buckler shield, it is a parrying shield. So I find safe thing is let them bounce off the shield and attack, like you've heard that before, or just go for backstabs, keep it safe. So don't rush down here. We're going to try and lure at least one of the dogs, ideally both. However, we're about to get another ambush. And all we're going to do, we're going to trigger the ambush and we're going to run. Because you're going to get daggers thrown by at least one, probably two, as the other one pursues you. Do not have your back to them when they are close, because they can also backstab you. They are all about the critical hits. So just let them bounce off your shield and attack. You get riposte damage, even though it's not a critical. It's the next best thing. So yeah. So we're now going to get the next dog. There we go. Now we can safely roll in here. Large soul of the undead. And, nope, not this one. It is this one. Not for the black leather set, but for the target shield. The target shield has a slightly better parry window than the shield we have. We're going to use that specifically for the Gwyn fight at the end of the run, just to give you a bit of an advantage. Now, equip your firebombs. It's finally time. So through that fog ball, the Capra Demon himself is not too big a problem. He's actually quite easy to deal with. However, he has 2 dogs in there with him, and it is a very confined space. So we instead are going to take advantage of the fact that it's a confined space, and we're going to use firebombs. So what you're going to do, first of all, looking at these lower things, 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to aim. So between the 3rd and 4th, you're going to aim somewhere in this region here. Press triangle or Y on Xbox, and now throw 4 firebombs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is it this one? Because if you notice, I looked down there and I couldn't see the damage going through. So I'm going to double check that I've got this. So I'm now doing it 1, 2, 3, and I'm doing it up here. Okay, that was it. So apologies there. That was my fault for making my notes less legible for this section. Oh, that's why. It was the 3rd of these, 4th of these, that's why. Apologies if you've wasted 4 firebombs, but we've got plenty. You should need less than 20. That's the ticket. Just be wary once the Capra Demon dies, unless both dogs have been killed, which they have in my instance, not guaranteed. Just be wary that when the Capra Demon dies, the fog wall disappears and dogs are going to charge at you, so just be ready for that. And we're pretty much there. There we go. That will give you the key to depths. Make sure you quickly press X to pick that up. And yeah, be ready for dogs. But yeah, if you look, this is the area you have to fight in against the Capra Demon and 2 dogs as well. The dogs hit you, they stun you, and then the Capra Demon bops you. So that's how that fight plays out if you don't cheese him with the firebombs. Take that off now. So, Thief there, although he's not the problem, it's the one that's around the corner here. Oh dear, that's not how we want that to go. I was about to say we get the attack on him before he becomes a problem, however, apparently not. Now, just as extra safety, we're actually going to unlock another shortcut. So, up here, pop you. If you're interested and you have an abundance of souls more than me, you are welcome to buy some poison arrows from that merchant there. Poison arrows specifically will come in handy in Anor Londo, where those archers are in that horrible area. 4 poison arrows, and you can poison those enemies. Opening the gate, that's where the rat at the end of that tunnel is, so that is a shortcut to Firelink, just in case something goes wrong before the next bonfire, but you should be fine. But that is another way of dealing with the horrible, horrible archers on the route to Anor Londo. Or in Anor Londo, I should say. Right, with that gate opened, we're going to come down here, we're going to grab this item. And we're going to open this door. Okay, so, hollow behind you, and now another one charging in from this side. Come back around, grab soul packet, because why not? As always, just be mindful not to get mobbed, so we're just luring one enemy at a time. Or in this case, I've got plenty of arrows. I might as well just avoid having to do the edge forward lure one out, because we can just arrow them. There's another hollow hiding around this corner. Sneaky, sneaky. There is a butcher assassin up in that corner. You can see his blades. Don't worry, we're going to lure him out a different way. Get your bow and get an arrow into this dog. He'll come up the stairs. Let him bounce off your shield so you can get the stab. Get your bow and you're going to do it again on this dog. Because again, we don't want to be fighting big enemies and dogs at the same time. There he is. Did one then. So, we are going to fight a butcher. Here he is. That was not a backstab. There we go. Backstab plus 1 or 2 hits is enough. He will drop the sack guaranteed. And open this chest for the large ember. Fantastic. We're now going to equip the rusted iron ring as we're about to go into a water area. First and foremost though, we're going to chuck an arrow into this dog, so we don't have to fight multiple dogs at the same time. Rusted iron ring gives us the movement we need. Come up this debris here, and super shock surprise! Backstab. Pop. Come into here, and here is our pyromancer. So, you do not want to attack, because that's a chance that you can actually hit him and kill him. So, roll. That's how you deal with barrels. Talk to him, he will say thank you. He'll never forget his debt. Talk to him again. He's fine. And that should be the end of his dialogue. Yeah. So, he's going to go to Firelink, because that's where all the cool people hang out. And yep, that'll do for that. We're going to carry on. Equip Ring of Steel Protection. I'm going to pop a heal. And we're now going to drop down this somewhat hidden chute. Spider shield is over there. You're welcome to take that if you wish. It is not necessary. And we're just going to get a plunging attack on the giant rat, which should be more than enough to defeat it. Come over here, grab a soul packet. Grab a humanity. Grab, importantly, the sewer chamber key, although we should have the master key, so you don't have to worry about that. Kill a rat. And at this point, I like to re-equip Covetous Gold Serpent Ring. Now, carefully, when you walk here, make sure you hug the left wall from this post. So, hug the wall, and that's how you don't fall down there to your death, because no one wants that. Slime enemy. Thankfully, the lightning spear, because it does elemental damage, they have a very high physical resistance. They have a chance of dropping large titanite shards and single green titanites. The giant rats have a chance of dropping humanity like all rats do. But before we deal with that, we're going to come up the steps, open this door, and come up the ladder, smash these boxes, come up here, there is a hollow flame man there, open this door with the sewer chamber key, or the master key if you didn't pick up the sewer chamber key, and we're going to light our next bonfire. Repair if you wish, if you're paranoid like me, and we're going to put a level into intelligence. So make sure at this point you have, optionally you can kindle this bonfire if you are concerned about the gaping dragon. If you are not familiar with the game, I would recommend kindling this bonfire for the extra Estus flasks. I'm not going to unless I end up for some reason having to use them unexpectedly before the boss. So make sure you have at least 10 humanity and make sure you have your covetous gold ring equipped. And we're going to clear through the area with a chance to get humanity and some eyes of death. We only need one. So as long as you have one in your inventory, and I think I'm pretty sure I got one in the hollow. No, I did not. Fantastic. Okay. Well, you may be in the same boat as me. We don't have an Eye of Death yet. I don't. So we're going to farm for the Eye of Death. Normally, you don't actually have to farm. Just playing through this area once should hopefully be enough to get it. So, kill the slime. Giant rats, so be careful. Just make sure you've got your shield up. They move around a lot. It can get annoying. There we go. Humanity. I beg your pardon, sir. Oh, another humanity. Fantastic. The small rats are going to run away from you, but then they will quickly change their mind and go aggro. So just be mindful of that. Well, this corner here, and there you're going to see your first basilisk of this area. Don't run too far forward, because you're about to get invaded by an NPC. No Eye of Death. Kirk spawns here. Parry him, backstab. Kirk is not a problem. Just make sure you keep your shield up. He is wearing thorned armor, which does damage when he rolls. So just make sure you keep your shield up. As with all NPCs, when you defeat him, you'll collect the red blood, and that will give you a humanity in the top left. And optionally, he may or may not drop the Bard Knight Straight Sword. It does not matter. It is not a necessary item. But yes, as you saw, there are basilisks in this area. That is how we are able to farm for an Eye of Death. Two-hand your spear, charge here, and you should be able to reach that one. We're going to come in, collect this, quickly run to the left, defeat this one, and be ready in case one comes from the right. Not guaranteed, as you saw, but can happen. Try to hit them in the eye, and that does more damage. Maybe I was just off there. 130 is what you're looking for to one-shot them. So, you've got 3 down there. You've got 2 down here. If they see you, they are going to start to charge at you. So all I'm doing is I'm just trying to cull the herd a little bit before we start having to try and worry about. Because the last thing you want with basilisks is for this many to be fighting you all at once. Normally, as you've seen there, once you get to the top of the steps, that's when they're going to start fighting. And I do need an Eye of Death still, so if you could please drop one kind basilisk, sir. Even asked nicely. Soul packets. This way is where we shot that one from before. As always, stay out of the poison gas, and I'm gonna have to farm another run. Ring of the Evil Eye, I don't know why I always pick it up. Every time I pick it up I go, I don't need to pick this up. But every time I pick it up. So apologies, I have led you slightly further afield than you need to and wasted a few seconds of your time. And since I do not have an Eye of Death, I'm going to homeward back to the bonfire, and I'm going to come and fight these basilisks again, because we have to have, at this point in the game, you must have one Eye of Death to guarantee you'll have the number you need for the Covenant item later on. I mean, thankfully at this stage we are actually over-leveled for this section. This is one of the sections you can get to quite early in the game. We went to Blighttown, the reverse entrance. This is the other entrance through that big door at the end there. That is the other entrance to Blighttown. So by doing Blighttown first, we've made this part of the game much easier. I blame these rats because they dropped me to humanity, and as a result I got no Eye of Death from the basilisks. You won't get invaded again, so don't worry about pacing and positioning for this basilisk. All I'm doing now is, as soon as I get my Eye of Death, then I'm going to leave this part. But I do need that Eye of Death. So if you have yours, you can skip ahead until I leave this area. Oh, hello. So this is what I meant about just be wary that there may be a basilisk around there. Oh, we got too close. But that's fine. Hey, there we go. There's our Eye of Death. Love it. Up these steps, immediately jump. Whoop. For a humanity. I always like to pick up humanity because it is a consumable that you can lose. So I'm just keeping an eye behind me, just making sure I definitely picked up that Eye of Death. Yep, Eye of Death. Just making sure I'm not being followed by a basilisk, because that would be annoying, getting a surprise basilisk hit. And we're back on track. Right. Now that we have done that, we're going to come back up the stairs. Back up the ladder. And then instead of going up the stairs, we are going to come this way. Make sure you definitely have your covetous ring equipped. Quick kill some rats before they stop cowering. No humanity. That's an axe. We don't need the axe. Up to you. If you want to pick up, you can. Be mindful of this crate. There's a rat inside. He's going to jump. This rat's going to run away, but he's going to change his mind very quickly, as will the others. So just, again, be mindful you're on a timer before they change their mind from being passive and go aggressive. And very nice. Follow here. soul packet, and through this fog door. Two key reasons here. First of all, well, both reasons are the same. There is a channeler here. So first thing is we want to fight the channeler because he has a very slim to no chance, but slim is better than none, of dropping the channeler trident. The second reason is this move that he's doing here, his whack 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 as I like to call it, will buff the boss, not just the rats in this area. So given we can kill the channeler and he has a chance of dropping his trident, which is one of the 52 rare items we need to pick up for the Knight's Honor trophy. Also, we're going to stop him from buffing the boss in this area down here. Stick to the wall because there are rats in these crates, and if you stick to the wall like I did there, you will not trigger them. Grab a large titanite shard. The reason I have 12 Estus is because we defeated that invader Kirk. Come here, turn. This rat's going to realise it's cornered. I'm not going to try and get the item because he's right next to a drop and we don't want to drop. There's a drop there. And back up here, this is where we fought the giant rat. That's the spider shield that I said that you could get. Stick to the left wall again. And we're ready to fight the boss. So yeah, if you've played the same way that I've done and done everything I've done, as you can see, we've got plenty of Estus, so there wasn't any need for us to kindle that bonfire. There are 2 rats, and guaranteed 1, but potentially 2 of these slime enemies. That one, and there was also one on the ceiling. So if you stick to the edge that I did and the path that I did, you don't have to worry. Just be careful. If you do run down the middle, that one up there, will land on your head and give you a bit of annoying time. Up here, come round. If for any reason you are not in human form, then you will need to go back to the bonfire and reverse your hollowing, so you can summon Solaire, Knight Solaire, Mr. Distraction for this boss. Reason that's important is we have to get the tail cut off on this playthrough. Otherwise, we're going to have to come down to this area and do it again on New Game Plus, and we don't want that. So, we're going to make sure that we get the tail cut off. So, in fact, I'm going to switch to our Divine Man 7 Greatsword. Chunky roll. That should do it. There we go, that's a better roll. There we go. So this boss is weak to lightning, but a slicing weapon is going to be better at getting the tail cut than a piercing weapon, so just play it safe. That's what we're going to do. Walk in. The Gaping Dragon, fantastic boss. So you're going to run in and you're going to stick to the left. And all we're concerned about is attacking this tail. Just be mindful, he does have a tail slam attack. Make sure you play safe is the key thing. If you get close to the body, have your shield up because that claw can do some good damage. Even though we are leveled quite high for this section. Tail swipe, just make sure if the tail starts moving, just make sure. Uh-oh. that you get your shield up quickly. Worst case, if you're two-handing, just still use block. There we go, Dragon King Great Axe. As soon as you've got that item, you can take solace that you are a bit safer. At this point, we don't mind if Solaire lives, dies, as long as we survive, all is good. Pop a heal, I'm just going to play extra safe. And if it wasn't obvious enough, don't be near the mouth. Now that is perfect, because I was going to say, just be careful when he does his toxic spew like that. What that does is that burns away your equipment degradation. So before, when I said we're going to buy a repair powder from that merchant, if you think all the way back, this is why we did it, was he has a chance, if you stand in that sludge, it's going to very quickly burn away your equipment degradation, and it will break your weapon and your armor. Now the thing we care about is the weapon, because if your weapon breaks, it will do next to no damage. So that's why we bought the repair powder, so that you have an option. But there we go. So we got the tail cut, so we got the Dragon King Great Axe. That is the sole reason why we fought that boss in the first place. Did not need to cover this gold serpent ring, so apologies. You could have put on probably the Havel's ring. Actually, we might have been able to use a better piece of armor, but as you can see, that boss really isn't a problem. Homeward. Definitely repair here. Just in case you did stand in some of that sludge, you will find that all of your armor is quite heavily damaged. I was actually conveniently able to back away, but more often than not, your odds are you're going to get hit by the sludge. We're now going to warp to Undead Parish. Talk to Andre, and he's going to spot the large ember. How, I don't know, but we are going to give him the large ember. And we're going to start preparing for boss weapon setup.
I got smiths, why not?
Yes, give him large ember. And what we're going to do now is we're going to purchase. We're going to purchase so that we have 3 long swords. So this is why I said earlier that those hollows just outside the top of Undead Parish, where we are here, if they drop, there's a chance they drop long swords or titanite, both are good. So we're going to need 3 of those. It tells you how many is held on the right there. You're also going to buy the Caestus, and you're going to buy a large leather shield. Now you're going to buy up to, so that you have 29 regular titanite. Regular titanite. Now what you're going to do is you're going to reinforce one of the long swords to +5. Three, 4, 5. Modify the longsword +5. You can now modify it to +6 thanks to the large ember that we just gave. So modify the longsword +5 to +6. And now reinforce longsword +6 to +10. Lovely. So now we have a longsword plus 10. What we're now going to do with the remaining Titanites that we got is we're going to do some boss soul pre-upgrading. We're going to get them to plus 2. So what we're going to do is straight sword hilt. That goes to plus 2. Claymore to plus 2. Shoto Uchigatana or Katana. The butcher knife. The mace. Halberd. Caestus. The east-west shield, so that's what we got in our starting class, and the large leather shield. And that is all of your Titanites spent. That's exactly where you would need to be. Go back to purchase item, arrows. Make sure you've got at least 150. If you have more than 150, what I want you to do is I want you to buy a single arrow. I don't care how many you've got, but if you've got more than 150, buy up to 150. If you've got more than that, make sure you buy one. If you buy up to 150, I then want you to buy one separate arrow. This arrow has Gwenny's name on it.
Don't get yourself killed, right?
Right. Speaking of Gwenny, let's deal with that now. Walk to the chamber of the princess. Now, some lore for you. So, Master Gwendolyn, because as I said, it's all about the Gwens. Master Gwendolyn is actually this whole Anor Londo we see here, this bright, colourful, very light area. It's all a facade. As is Guinevere here. So, what you're going to do, come in here, make sure you've come at least halfway in, and apologies, one arrow. And, oh heretic.
Thou that tarnishest the godmother's image, I am Gwendolyn.
And now we're going to see we've really annoyed Gwendolyn to the point where he's no longer holding the facade of Anor Londo. So now we're seeing the true Anor Londo with none of the magical facade. So, now we've done that. Rest of the bonfire, just so that's the one that you've rested at most recently. Wait for the lift. And some good news is the giant halberd wielding enemies are no longer there. Temporary bad news is there are 2 guards who are. One who is donning similar armor to Black Knight Tarkus, and all we're doing is we're just picking a fight with one at a time. I'm pretty sure that's not Tarkus though. Tarkus is too cool for that. I've never actually thought about it. Is this Black Knight Tarkus? Because that would suck. So, standard. As you can see what I'm doing, I'm waiting for my opening, and I'm going to backstab. Uh-oh. Yeah, that really could be Tarkus. Just be careful when healing, because they play like real players, they will sniff an opportunity and they will take it. So as you can see, I'm not rushing the heal. I'm actually waiting for a pillar, so I can do this. There you go. Oh, come on. Normally... Oh. Of course, now I'm recording, it's the first time I actually have trouble. So what I've done here is I've gone out of his aggro range. As you can see, he's starting to move backwards. I don't know. There we go. There we go. I was waiting for that lunge attack, because you can easily roll to the side. But there you go. Right. That's the hard one done, because this is essentially just an overrated Balder Knight, in my opinion. These enemies do not respawn, so you only have to deal with them once. As you can see, there's little this one can do. Come on. Oh, this is getting tedious. Come on. There we go. Right. With them dispatched, we're going to come up here and we're now going to fight the Titanite demon. So remember, we've defeated one, which means this one has more damage and more health. So be extra mindful of the jump attack. So once you are behind him, that's when he's going to try and reposition with it. Oh, nope. Key thing is, with the Titanite demons, patience. As you can see, it's only really the jump attack that poses any risk, and that's really only if you get caught with your shield down or your stamina bar depleted. So that's why I'm not doing too many hits in succession. Oh, because, yeah, that can hit through your stamina bar. And I'm even going to heal up, because if I do get hit for any reason with my stamina low, so for example if we did it right there, that could be enough to finish me off. And we don't want that, because you know, we're going to have to run and do it again. I won't have to fight those two enemies at the bottom of the steps again, but you know, it's tedious. Ow. Poke. Poke. Get ready for the jump. Oh, I should not have tried to roll, I should have just kept my shield up. Heal whenever you would attack. Roll for all boss type enemy encounters. So yeah, the only thing annoying about this one is the close space that you're in. But as you can see, as long as you don't do anything silly, worst case, you'll take a few of those and you've got enough Estus that you can heal your way through. And if you really want, you can beat this enemy with arrows from the doorway because he can't fit through the door. Oh dear! Oh no. There we go, we can start walking away from you again. There we go. Right. The catch pole not guaranteed, but not necessary. The key thing there is the 2 demon titanite. Right, we now have enough for everything we need. So, we're now going to go back to our giant blacksmith. Dum-de-dum. Thankfully, he's still here with the facade gone. He was not part of this facade. And what we're going to do now is we're going to create our first boss weapon. So all the boss weapons are required for the Knights Honor trophy. Modify, and come over to the middle section. Modify the longsword plus 10 to the great sword of Artorias. That uses the soul of Sif. Reinforce. So only once you've created it can you do this and find out that it is the cursed version. There are 2 great sword of Artorias, both with the same name. One if you use a longsword type weapon, and the other if you use a hilt type weapon. So we are going to get both of those because they're both needed for the Knights Honor trophy. However, we're going to actually wield this one for a little bit. So what we're going to do is modify the great sword of Artorias to +4. There we go. With that done, we are now going to come down the stairs. And we're going to open the big door here. Now, the firekeeper that was at the Anor Londo bonfire, not so happy that we've broken the illusion of Gwendolyn. So the firekeeper is going to be waiting for us at the bottom of the stairs. Key thing with this is an enemy who will parry you every time. So, shield and poke after an attack, or if decides to do a roll. Oh, why did I do that? I even saw it coming. So that is a parrying knife in his offhand. Right. After a roll, go for the backstab. Don't be silly like me. I even just said, we'll parry you. Backstabs or bounce off the shield and attack. Those are the only options. We'll drop the Firekeeper's soul because that was a Firekeeper. If you end up beating him by knocking him off the edge, when you next go to the Anor Londo bonfire, even though the bonfire is no longer lit, you can still teleport there. The Firekeeper's soul will be in that room. What you're now going to do is come over to here, and we're going to push the switch towards the Painted Guardian room. That should drop the lift down. You are going to go down the stairs. And we are going to rest at this bonfire. Alrighty, and that about does it for this episode. So in the next episode, we are going to defeat the Dark Sun Gwendolyn, the one that was casting the spell of illusion and grandeur on Anor Londo. So we're going to defeat him. We're going to get the Sunlight Blade Miracle from there. We're then going to head to the painted world of Ariamis. Essentially, where the gods, so all the Gwens, they're the gods, where the gods stored all of the things they didn't want to deal with, all the problems. So that's what we're going to do in the next episode. We're going to go through the painted world and we're going to see how well the bird farm treats us. So this is the next farm we've got for 10 souvenir reprisal. So the next video is going to be defeating Gwen, getting to the painted world and the bird farm. After that, the video after that will then be clearing the painted world. Hopefully, as always, you're enjoying following along with this guide and it's helping you on your journey to platinuming Dark Souls. Like and subscribe if it's helping you or if you're enjoying it. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you in the next video. So until then, bye for now.